Hi muckers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having the best day ever. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and being on my channel today. I appreciate you spending even a little portion of your day with me. I know that your subscriptions are getting filled up as the days goes on with more and more creators, and I really appreciate that you've, spent a little part of your day here. And if you have opinions on what I'm going to talk about today, which I would assume you would because I have plenty of them, plentiful, is that the word I would use there? Maybe, of this certain situation, and we're going to get into it. But basically, Shane Dawson is back in his podcast phase. Now, if you know anything about the history of Shane Dawson, we can anticipate in a couple months he will get cancelled based on the things that he has said on all of these different podcasts, and we will soon see compilations of moments from this new podcast that are calling him out for certain jokes that he makes, even though most of the content that he makes that are passed up as jokes, whether they're about cats, animals, children, racism, any of the following, people have passed him off as jokes, but at a certain stage, I have to think that that is just his real personality and the way that he thinks, because you can't make that many jokes over so many years and it just be a little comedy bit. It's part of your personality. But anyway, we'll wait for that moment. Before we get into this though, I'm gonna go through the podcast and tell you what happened during it. I unfortunately watched the entire thing. Before that though, I want to skip to this very special message, so let's go. Muckers, before we get into this video, did you like that little intro, by the way? Little transition, coming up with something new? Before we get into this video, I just want to let you know that today's video is so kindly sponsored by adamandeve.com, who we adore on this channel, and I know that I have a love for this company, and I know that a lot of you do as well, which is why they keep coming back to the channel. This is the #1 support, by the way, that you can do of my channel, and I really appreciate it, and I'm getting something out of this as well, and I'm so grateful to be able to work with a company like this that have 90-day no hassle return. A bunch of their proceeds go to fighting the spread of HIV all around the world. 24/7 customer service. Their products are amazing. They're a great company, and I love that you guys get something out of it as well, because you're getting this amazing discount, which is 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada. So basically, you're literally getting half off one item, and then you're getting your free shipping as well in the US and Canada, and they do have shipping everywhere else as well for a great price. I really appreciate Adam and Eve coming back to the channel. They have amazing products. They are so high quality. Their website is easy to navigate. They have things for every single different kind of thing that you want. They also just have a great variation of things. So, if this maybe isn't your thing, maybe this will be, and they just have so much. So I would really recommend going on adamandeve.com. And then if you do decide to get something, which I would urge you to do because you'll not regret it, you can use the code ADAM50 at checkout. And you get that amazing deal, which is literally half off. I'm so grateful that they're giving me, not only a sponsorship, but a great-ass deal. 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada, and again, shipping everywhere else in the world. Again, I already stated the amazing things that come with the company, but you can talk to them after you get your purchase. If there's any problems, the 90-day no hassle return, 24/7 customer service. Again, a big bit of their proceeds going to fighting the spread of HIV around the world. So not only are you getting amazing products and, spicing up your life a little bit, and this is not just for couples, by the way. Do you think Adam has a relationship? No, and Adam still uses code ADAM50. This is for everyone. I know that a lot of you have been loving this. Please comment below if you use the code ADAM50, and please let me know your opinion of the things. I would love to read and respond to you. And again, this is the #1 support of my channel, so I love and appreciate Adam and Eve for continuously supporting the channel and showing love to the muckers with this amazing code, and I love that you muckers have been doing this, so thank you so much, Adam and Eve. That again is adamandeve.com, code ADAM50 for 50% off one item and free shipping. I still laugh every time I'm saying it because it's such a big discount. So yeah, adamandeve.com. Let me know in the comments below if you get stuff and what you have got in the past. I love you all so much, and yeah, go to the website and you'll see the amount of variation of things. You'll love it. I do, my friends do, and yeah, I'll see you. Thank you, Adam and Eve, code ADAM50. Alright, now that we're back, let's go into the podcast. So, the podcast is called Conspiracy Theories, the Shane Dawson podcast. So, he's back doing actual conspiracy theories again, which, if you watch my videos, you will know that I said that I think that's the smartest thing that Shane Dawson can do in today's day and age. I think that is the safest content for him to make. Now, the downside with that is people are a lot more well-versed when it comes to conspiracy theories these days, that they're all dumb. At least a majority of the ones that YouTubers will cover, because they have to cover safe ones so that they don't get demonetized on YouTube. We've seen this with a lot of content creators, and especially Shane, but there used to be a phase of covering conspiracy theories back in 2015 to 2017 where YouTubers would really drill in deep and dark conspiracy theories, but now they're all too scared to do that because they won't make any money on the videos, and they could have a chance of their channel being demonetized if the video is too dark. So they're all very surface level and very stupid now, and that's what Shane is going back into. So if you're like, Adam, you said that when he would start doing conspiracies again, he would start getting good views, and he's not. What's the deal with that? The thing is, he has to do really boring conspiracy theories now because, first of all, he's already explored a lot of them, and number two, he's very avidly in this scared to really give an opinion on anything, which is going to be his downfall if he gave an opinion and it's problematic, which it would be a downfall, and if he holds back too much, it's going to be a downfall as well. I think at a certain stage he just needs to pack the bags and leave, because it's a lose-lose situation for him. I think he's done that problematic bad stuff on the platform for so long that I think for him to just continue doing it, people are just tired of it and aware of it now. This new podcast is on the channel Shane 2, which I'm pretty sure was the Shane Dawson YouTube channel, which he uploaded, I think, in maximum one makeup video on before he packed that bag too up. And this podcast features Shane, so the co-host, Shane Dawson, Rylan Adams, Shane's conspiracy theorist flat earther brother, who, by the way, is going to be the downfall of the podcast, and I'll get into that in a second, and Chris, who is their cameraman. Now, I need to say something. Chris, the cameraman, is insanely attractive. This is him here, right? So this is my first time ever really seeing Chris. This is like their Andrew replica. He is really sweet and really attractive. And so, a win in my case. He's on my side. But no, that is the 4 members of the podcast, and they said that they want to have guests throughout, you know, the podcast, which is going to be hard for them to get because I think no one wants to associate with Shane. And then they dive in that they've reached out to their first ever guest to hopefully get on the podcast. And I'm like, what person would willingly come on a Shane Dawson podcast and get bad publicity and not even any sort of like good promotion out of it? And then they say that it was Caitlyn Jenner that they reached out to. And I think that answered all of my queries, where basically that's the kind of people that they're going to have to get on their podcast. Really problematic, controversial figures, which Caitlyn Jenner definitely is one, through the different politics that Caitlyn Jenner has been preaching for the past couple of years. She's been very off the rails with her takes, very bad ones. So people like that are probably the golden tokens that will come on Shane's podcast. But even at that, Caitlyn Jenner refused to come on. Now, the podcast clip in which I'm going to focus on today is around the start to middle, where they're talking about their insecurities when it comes to filming a podcast, and I want you to hear what Shane says. He basically says that he's too scared to openly speak again because it will get used against him, and I'm like, that is not our problem. Like, if you're already starting your first ever episode, the first 10 minutes being like, I'm scared to speak up, like I'm gonna get cancelled, I can't get any more cancelled than I am. It's like, okay, so you're openly admitting that you still think the same way that whenever you were getting cancelled for? Great, that's all I needed to know. The brother, Shane's brother, I forget his name, he's really forgettable, but basically, he's so problematic, and I'm gonna put it down now that I don't think Shane is gonna be the one that overtly comes out with problematic things. I think the brother is gonna say things and Shane will add on to it, because the brother doesn't hold back in a way that old Shane didn't. And there are many parts of the podcast, which I want to show you first and foremost. This is not the clip I want to focus on, but they're talking about Chick-fil-A being homophobic. And Rylan's like, I don't care, like, I'll still support them, I just want my Chick-fil-A. And then Chris, they keep saying, is the woke one. They have an entire segment in this podcast dedicated to who's the most woke. And they basically say that Chris, the video guy, is, which immediately just goes to show that they're throwing around terminologies like being not problematic and woke, which goes to show that they don't take it seriously. And again, it's going to be fabulous entertainment for us when, come a couple months, this podcast is another downfall of Shane, because they have not changed their attitude, any of them, especially Shane, Ryland, and the brother. In terms of Chris, I think he's just there adding little sentences onto the conversations, no shade, but he's definitely playing it very safe. I mean, of course he is. You know, the same thing happened with Andrew. Remember when Shane got cancelled and Andrew had to go on and get a career of his own? He could, because he wasn't involved in the problematic humor. So Chris needs to watch himself, because when Shane goes bye-bye again in a couple months, and then goes on another break and then comes back again, Chris will be out of a job for a while, and, you know, no one will really want to associate with him if he's seen being very problematic with Shane. He'll have the same fate as Shane, if you get what I mean. But the brother basically makes gay jokes within the first bit. Shout out Ethan, Klein, and Dan, where they're talking about Chick-fil-A, and I do just want to show you this little clip. This is not the part that I want to focus on, but just to kind of show you that the brother really isn't holding back. Oh, and also, whenever they're talking about Caitlyn Jenner, there's some sort of sentence, I can't remember it now, but they say something about Caitlyn Jenner. something with like, it was like some sort of sexual act or something. That wasn't overtly how it was presented, but it had an undertone of that. And Shane goes, oh, Caitlyn Jenner. Oh, see, I was gonna say a joke. But I'm holding myself back. And it was being set up to be a very transphobic joke. And Shane's like, look, are you proud of me? I'm not saying the joke about Caitlyn Jenner that I was gonna make in my head. And it's like, you're really starting your podcast off by saying that you have these jokes at your head that you're just holding yourself back from saying. So we can expect that this podcast is going to be a dream. But anyway, this is the part that I wanted to show you about the brother just like not holding back. So again, they're talking about Chick-fil-A in this moment.
Right through. He has no choice.
You fucking fraud. That's what woke is.
No.
You're telling me that I can't have my grilled chicken because I'm
this is the difference. You're like asking, is everyone comfortable? I'm like, I'm going through the drive-thru. If you don't want something, don't get it.
So you're like a casual woke. Because, I mean, if you were really woke, you'd be like, no, Rylan, I'm getting out the fucking car right now. You can go through Chick-fil-A. I'll go to Subway. I'll eat there.
Well, listen.
But you do it. You end up going through with it.
For the record, I don't identify as woke.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
I don't know.
I was just thinking about, they gotta have some of the best sauce. Like the Polynesian sauce is so delicious, you know? And they're willing to substitute your drink for a nice coffee.
It's after this.
Nobody does that.
Which is generous.
Although they've dropped the my pleasure thing.
Here we go.
It's no longer their pleasure, and it used to be their pleasure.
I know that the CEO or like someone who ran the company at the time like pretty openly said he doesn't support gay marriage with gay people and that sort of thing, and that was upsetting. And the company has donated money to multiple anti-gay charities. Some are just churches and things like that, but some are like politically backed. See,
this is what we're dealing with already. Whenever Chris is coming in with an educated opinion on something, it cuts to Shane being like he has like fucking Molly or something that he's taken. He's like, you know what I mean? He's at a fucking rave. He's at Coachella. Anytime there's an actual good opinion that comes in, like a factual one, Shane just goes to show it's like Molly mouth. Like, Jesus.
Things that like supported like...
By the way, I have a question in relation to that. I didn't know what that was, that thing that people take, until 2 weeks ago, whenever I was talking to someone who'd been at Coachella, who was telling me that every single influencer is on it, and I was like, wait, is that the reason that every single influencer at nighttime at Coachella is wearing sunglasses? And they were like, yeah, and I was like, oh, the more you know. So basically, all your favorite influencers, when you're like, how are they partying from 9 a.m. until the next morning at 9 a.m.? There's your answer, along with a mixture of other things, I assume. Anyway, it's interesting hearing things behind the scenes.
Prop 8, like, yes,
Here we go.
Things like that, the bill to get married and stuff like that. But the CEO apologized recently about it.
Oh, thank God.
What are you fact checking?
Beep, beep. I'm going. He said he apologized.
Wait, who?
The CEO for all the anti-gay statements.
He deserves to be forgiven, I hope.
Okay.
You just want to eat Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. And I think lots of gay boys do.
This is a lot.
I'm just wondering if they stop saying it's my pleasure because it seemed kind of gay. You know? It's like, dude, there ain't no one else saying my pleasure, guys. Like, what the fuck? They just say, have a nice day, generically. Nobody cares. No one's banking on them to say it. My pleasure is just, that's gay. Let's stop saying that.
It is.
You know?
We should stop saying
I don't think you can say that's gay anymore either, Jared. I'm actually offended and I'm leaving the fucking podcast.
Alright, there we go. So, I assume by Ryland's response, Jared, the brother, is not gay, and he's saying, you know, that's gay, which, I don't know if you remember, but there was an ad on, like, Disney Channel or something like that, where Hilary Duff is shopping. My pop culture bitches will know this. Hilary Duff is like shopping over here and there's two girls here and she's like, what do you think about this dress? And the other girl goes, oh, that's so gay. And Hilary Duff comes in and is like, actually, you shouldn't say that. Saying that's gay is so derogatory or something like that, right? That's what that reminds me of. So we're already starting with, I assume, Shane's straight brother using that's gay as a derogatory term. This podcast is going to be a treat for Shane's career, and as a drama channel, I am so fucking excited, baby. I am so excited. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Ryland. And thank you, Chris, for giving me, in a couple months, a shit ton of content. Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, so now we go to the art insecurities part. So this is them talking about what they're scared of for this podcast. This was the part I thought was interesting. I just wanted to show you that little part for a little bit of a teaser. Also, keep in mind the Caitlyn Jenner joke that Shane did.
About doing this podcast and why we think it might be a bad idea. I'll go first. I think for me, I'm a little nervous to talk openly again about random things because I don't want to censor myself, but also, like, back then I was trying to say the craziest thing I could.
What do you mean, like, about censoring yourself? Just don't be predatory or like, it's so easy to, like, you don't have to, I don't want to censor myself. Just don't be, like, racist, please.
To, like, get people to laugh, and I don't really do that anymore. I guess I should, though, to be entertaining, but I just don't think I'm going to do that.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be screaming crazy things. Jared can do that.
I'm in.
So yeah, my big insecurity is I feel like maybe, something broke.
A light shut off.
It's okay.
Where? I didn't see it.
This is real.
Is it just
Should
one
I
of the back?
switch the battery?
Yeah, you're fine.
Should I mute it?
Perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, my big insecurity is that I'm going to be boring and that I'm going to censor myself too much, and also...
So Shane thinks unless he isn't screaming racial, sexist, homophobic, deranged statements, that he's boring. Well, I mean, that's a valid point from Shane whenever this entire set was built off of money that you made from those kind of behaviors.
that I'm going to say something that's going to get me in trouble, and then everybody's going to be like, see, he hasn't changed, even though I'm literally 33, almost 34 years old, so I've definitely changed. And also not being able to get guests, because but we don't really need guests, right? We have each other. But, like, is Caitlyn Jenner going to want to come?
I mean, she's been doing a lot of things. I feel like she will.
I feel like she will.
She wouldn't come for me, but I think she'll come for you.
See, I almost said something crazy, and I held back. So I'm changing, because you were talking about Caitlyn Jenner coming, and we're, like, holding back.
There we go. He says that... I don't even need to say it, you know what I mean? He was setting up a transphobic joke against Caitlyn Jenner. And he very clearly says it because he's like, Caitlyn Jenner, coming, I'm holding back. It's a great and very promising way to start your podcast, Shane. Very great, very funny. Cannot wait to see the history of this.
You know, round of applause for Chris. You know, round of applause for Peru. For Peru. What is give us a fun fact about Peru for those of us like me that I don't know fun facts about Peru. So can you give me one?
I mean, I'm pretty sure potatoes come from Peru, which is not like people think like Ireland and stuff, but I think they come from Peru. I'm not positive. I need to fact check that, but I think so. Like all our dishes are like potato based.
You have a laptop there, so while Jared's talking about his insecurity, you can look up if potatoes are from Peru.
My man just gave us a fun fact and is fact checking himself. You can't get more dedicated to the game than Chris is right now. Chris, you're going to get Caitlyn on this show. I already know. I'm excited about it.
Do you want Caitlyn on the show?
I'm sure she would love to after you saying that joke.
Go on Ellen and say she doesn't approve of gay marriage.
Ooh, that was a while ago.
I guess you have a list of things to fact check, Chris, and that's going to be one of them.
Why can't... I think her stance has evolved since then, but why can't we talk to somebody and have an open conversation?
I just have questions.
I just want to know, in a relationship, is she a hit it and quit it type of person? Or does she stick around for the long haul?
I think she's long.
You know, because we don't know. We don't know who she's in a relationship with last.
Are you ready for the potato update?
You know?
This is looking to be incredibly fucking promising.
But it's okay because I'm eating healthier now. So if anything, my biggest insecurity is becoming a motivating factor to get me to be healthier in life.
Wow.
So I can't really hit a lot on that.
All right.
Do I worry about maybe saying something stupid? Nah. Only because...
Very promising for Shane's career, y'all.
If you've been around me for any amount of time, I just say stupid stuff sometimes, you know?
I can't wait to see how this unfolds. Cannot wait. Your first episode back and this is it? Looking promising. I know the Shane fans are sweating at the bit. Sweating at the bit. They're shitting themselves. And I love it.
But it's all about intention, and I think...
It's about intention. If he's being racist, it's about his intention. He's trying to make other racists laugh. He's not just trying to be racist to be problematic. He's doing it with the intention of making other racists laugh. And isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet, Jared? That's sweet.
Behind everything we're saying is just to be honest. Maybe there's some humor in there, but
humor too.
I'm never trying to hurt anybody's feelings. You know, I avoid walking on top of ants. You know?
Me too.
I don't even kill ants. I don't want to hurt ants. I say sorry to dogs and cats when I bump on them. Like,
yeah.
So I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. But, so as far as insecurity, so yeah. So over the course, you know, of the further episodes, I should be looking better and thinner. And,
same.
You know? So yeah, maybe
you look good.
So, weight loss challenge, I'm doing it.
All right. Well, you look good.
Thank you.
I wouldn't worry about it. You're beautiful just the way you are. Ryland, what's your show insecurity?
This is interesting considering Ryland has been doing his podcast a while now, way longer than I thought he was going to do it, so props to Ryland. And I feel like Ryland has been through the shitter with his podcast, from the Trisha drama to the Ethan drama. Like, there have been so many things that have halted his podcast, even the Shane drama as well. And he's got through all of it, so I feel like Ryland is actually the most equipped person for this.
Show insecurity. Well, you and I fight more when we're on camera, so, like, that's never
Great
good.
start.
And then people think, like, we have a toxic relationship, because we are always, like, trying to be the most entertaining we can be if we're making something. And a lot of times that comes off as you and I picking on each other in a loving way, but it comes off very aggressive.
I think it's fun, and that's my toxic trait. Is I like fighting with you.
I mean,
only though when people are watching.
Yeah, it's not like we don't know. Fighting is my nightmare, but I like picking at Shane with my small annoyances throughout the day publicly. You know, it feels better that way.
Mm-hmm. Sounds healthy. What do you think, Chris? Out of curiosity, as the wokest person here,
you know what I mean? Whenever you're starting this already by weaponizing who's the most woke, it just goes to show that none of you are. And like none of you care about it, which is again going to be so beautiful from an audience's point of view whenever we're compiling all of this against you.
Is that cool? Is that like a... I mean, what are your thoughts?
Seeing you guys from like an outside perspective, I can say that I think you're like a sweet, amazing couple. I see how in love you are. I see how wonderful you are together, off camera, outside of the fighting and stuff.
And I think the only...
So when I see them fight, it's funny.
Yeah, and they hide it from you, really.
And I think the only reason it even works is because it's obviously a joke.
Right.
There's nothing funny about people really talking shit.
Well, most of the time it falls on Shane. Most of the time...
That's a great sentence, Jar, considering that that's what this podcast is going to turn into. Just you wait. We'll put that clip against you doing that in a couple of weeks.
People think I'm being abused by Shane. No, go to any podcast comment section we've ever had together. It's like,
I don't.
I know, because they're always team me. I wonder if your audience will be team you.
No, here's the thing. The way that he treats me.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
And I'm just going to say, there are going to be fights on this podcast because the way that you treat me, it's like you poke at me on purpose to get me to snap.
No, oh my gosh, do you want to talk about a tiff we had the other night?
How do I turn down my, sorry, your voice?
Alright, well I'm gonna stop there, but as you can see, this is proving to be a great podcast. Oh my god. I feel like everything that they shouldn't have said in the first episode, they said within the first 10 minutes, which is, again, I think the word here is just looking promising. Looking incredibly promising. Muckers, I want to know your opinion on this. I think from hinting at transphobic jokes, great. Talking about that you don't care if you offend people, great. That you fight on camera for attention, great. Just all of it. This is proving to be what will be a great era in Shane's career. Mucker, let me know your opinion on this below. I love you so much. Bye.